Welcome back to Headlines. It's August 20th. Dave and I here to recap our weekly email newsletter in an audio version with a deeper dive, more commentary, more insights. Dave, you here with me?
Let's go.
You ready?
I'm here, man. Yeah, I'm live on location. Let's go.
Okay, awesome. If you haven't already, just before we start, slide over to our newsletter. You can find the link just in the show notes below here. And just subscribe to Buy the Drip. All you need is an email address in there. You'll get a weekly newsletter Tuesday, 10 a.m. We promise you it's always fun content. We're a couple of fun guys. And we're going to bring the best for you in the coffee world. So this week, big headline from Burritos to Brews. The $1 billion move shaking up Starbucks. So we get a new CEO taking over the reins at Starbucks. Let's talk about some key highlights, and then I'm going to pass it over to Dave to give some lessons on finance here. Brian Niccol, the former Chipotle CEO, takes the helm at Starbucks. Known for his remarkable turnaround at Chipotle, Niccol is stepping up to lead Starbucks in what is one of the most significant executive deals in recent corporate history. So we have a massive pay package. Niccol's compensation includes a base salary of $1.6 million, along with a $10 million signing bonus. He also stands to gain $75 million in stock options, compensating for the shares he's forfeiting at Chipotle. So we have lucrative incentives. Niccol is set to receive $23 million in share-based bonuses each year, plus cash bonuses of $3.6 million tied to company performance. If all targets are met, Niccol's total compensation could reach an eye-popping $113 million. Wow. We got a proven track record. So Niccol is credited with revitalizing Chipotle in 2018, driving its stock price up an astounding 760%. Are you kidding me? 760%? It's astronomical. Starbucks has been under pressure from activist investor Elliott Investment over its stock performance. Former CEO Howard Schultz, which we linked a wonderful podcast in last week, I decided I love him. I don't hate him. Hasn't been silent on the matter either. Since leaving in 2022, Schultz has voiced his concerns through LinkedIn, podcasts, and even direct emails to the leadership team. After a nearly 20% decline in Starbucks stock over the past 5 years, Niccol's signing caused the stock to skyrocket by 24%. Interestingly, Chipotle's stock dropped about 8% following the news. Dave, is this the most lucrative business deal we've ever seen? This is a big signing.
This is the biggest signing
since the New York Knicks.
This is the biggest free agent.
LA Lakers?
The New York Knicks.
The New York Giants.
This is an international podcast. We're not talking basketball, man. We're talking soccer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I mean football.
Football, yeah. Football. This is massive. This is a contract as big as we're seeing in sports stars, right? Walk me through this. What does this mean? What's going on?
This means a lot, but it's a little misleading. So his base salary is $1.6 million.
So that's his annual salary, correct?
Yeah, the clickbait is the 111 million.
113.
That's what he could. Sorry, 113. That's what he could make.
Right, if he makes the All-Star team and he makes the NBA Finals.
Yeah, exactly. So his base salary, $1.6 million. He's getting a $10 million signing bonus. That's pretty incredible. His stock options, that's a nice day one. Mm-hmm. The stock options are quite interesting because on how those play out and how the stock performs, those I imagine could go up significantly. And then he's got some performance things tied to $3.6 million. So there's a lot of moving parts here. Right. I think Starbucks has kind of been in the last 24 months kind of lingering. The stock price hasn't done so well. We got, an activist investor that's coming and buying up stock, and what they would do is buy enough stock that they're going to say, hey, we want a board seat, and then they put someone on the board, and then they go and rework, management. So that'd be the CEO, some of the top professionals at the company, and most likely would move them out. So what the board and gone and done is done that before Elliot stepped in, and they've kind of Elliot's added pressure for them to make a move quickly. So it's like a big signing because Brian turned around Chipotle after they had some issues with like E. coli, and they had like a rough go, and a lot of people was saying the company was like really like down on its knees, and he was able to turn around. So can he apply the same kind of ideas and methods that he applied at the former company to Starbucks? We're going to see over the next 12 to 24 months here.
Right.
Obviously, the stock price moved quite significantly. That means the market, thinks it's a really good move. And, we'll kind of see things shake out over the next little bit here. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the numbers are huge. It's fascinating to see the overall breakdown. And of course, when you do simplify it the way you just did, 1.6 million annual, 113 million potential, right? It's not a guaranteed 113 million, but it is guaranteed on a couple of the other elements that are there. Fascinating to hear, somebody can have a big enough investment into a public company to kind of force themselves into the board, to force themselves into kind of infiltrate the company and get a vote and start making decisions and start kind of pushing things around. So fascinating to sort of hear your professional opinion on, what's going on here and breaking it down. I'm going to slide to the next section. We've got some further breakdown and some notes that are here. I'm going to read through it anyway, and then if you want to add some more value, please feel free.
Thanks.
Okay. Breaking down the business. Do you want to read this chunk? Actually, it makes the most sense. It says Dave's take.
Big guy, your voice, it's unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Like an angel. Dave's take. We got a much needed change. Starbucks needed to make a bold move. Activist investors like Elliot can be a thorn in the side for board members and top management. Bringing in a CEO like Brian Niccol, who successfully turned Chipotle around, could provide Starbucks with the strong leadership it needs to either pivot or gain renewed momentum. Starbucks is not written in the script. Starbucks, I believe, is edging around 40,000 locations worldwide, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, there's worthwhile mention to bring that up. Niccol is coming into a huge role to manage this global empire, one of the strongest, largest, potentially most impactful brands we've ever seen. Side excerpt there, pardon me. Next headline. Big pay, bigger impact. While the headline numbers of Niccol's pay package might seem astronomical, it's important to put things in perspective. Starbucks generated 36.6 billion in revenue in 2023. Niccol's base salary is 1.6 million. So that wouldn't be 1%. That wouldn't even be 1% of 1%. Which, although substantial, is modest compared to the typical S&P 500 CEO pay of 16.3 million. That would be the base salary, correct?
Yeah, all these numbers are kind of...
Yeah, they're all skewed.
Like finance people, they're just cooking up everything.
Right, including Dave in this article. Let's continue. What's more, Starbucks' market capitalization increased by $20 billion after Niccol's appointment was announced, making that 1.6 million base salary seem relatively minor, if not almost nothing on the Excel spreadsheet, though of course still a hefty sum. Why does this matter to specialty coffee? Like it or not, in North America, Starbucks often sets the benchmark against which specialty or third wave coffee is measured. I think also in other parts of the world, not just in North America, though that's our perspective. Converting Starbucks customers into specialty coffee enthusiasts is crucial, with Starbucks experiencing some setbacks, including declining same-store sales. This could be an opportunity for specialty coffee businesses to attract those customers. Plus, Breaking down these numbers highlights just how interesting the dynamics at play are in the broader coffee industry. Dave, what does that mean?
Yeah, I think this kind of we highlighted this a bit, above, but Starbucks, for better or for worse, is we get compared to them a lot in our industry on pricing, on size, on quality, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, service.
Service, the style of coffee, and someone coming into this role, Starbucks is such a massive company, and these kind of like pay numbers in and around our industry is good or bad in some light. I think there's like a big discrepancy from what, someone at the very top is making versus someone on the front lines. But it also provides context on the larger market dynamics. So him signing this deal, the market cap of Starbucks increases by, what was it?
It says 20 billion here.
Yeah, 20 billion in one day. And if you make that trade all day long, as a shareholder, you're excited about that move. And
right.
The company is worth more. You've paid a base salary of 1.6 million. That's a trade that lots of people on the financial markets would do all day long. So, yeah, I think overarching, it's good for our industry to see these kind of things coming in. Probably it's going to impact some specialty coffee places because they're going to, like, Starbucks is going to step up their game with, a new CEO at the realm, and is good in a way because we need, as specialty operators, we need to step up our game always, and iron sharpens iron. What do you see? Actually, let's go to your take.
Yeah, you know what, Dave? I have pretty good economic breakdown here.
Yeah.
Cole's take, written right here in the newsletter. Now, that's a latte. If Brian Niccol's total salary was paid for in venti-sized lattes, so not in dollars,
this is a great
venti-sized lattes, he would be taking home approximately $28 million. I think a venti latte is $4.15 in America, is the number that I used to get $28 million. So if he was paid in coffee, he could sip a new venti latte every minute for the next 53 years.
God, what a great breakdown.
Unbelievable. 53 years.
How did you come up with this?
Another one I tried to come up with is how many venti lattes would convert into Olympic-sized swimming pools. And I think it's something like 6.8 Olympic-sized swimming pools. Just makes it seem like a lot of money, okay? Nobody in their lifetime is going to buy 28 million venti lattes and drink one every minute for 53 years. It's a lifetime. Niccol is getting paid a lifetime of venti-sized lattes. And then some. It's generational venti latte. Let's keep moving. Reading, watching, listening, brewing.
Let's go,
we got Baristas. Oh, all right. Reading. So I put this one in here this week. Dissertation on the effects of microclimates on the growth and development of coffee thanks to Poma Coffee, a Danish coffee producer and research station. Yes, high-end coffee is being grown in greenhouses in Denmark. So Denmark is at sea level, so this is fascinating. The team here is conducting controlled research on certain variables surrounding the coffee plants, monitoring the development on a daily basis. A fully transparent operation, Poma plans to share their research for the benefit of coffee production worldwide. So start in the greenhouse and move it out into the field. And in this particular writing that we're recommending to read through, Poma has focused on microclimates. So essentially an A/B test, a side-by-side, where they've mimicked the microclimate of a 2,100 meter above sea level farm versus a 1,700 meter above sea level farm, and then observed the different happenings that are applying to the plant itself. So what is the growth of the branch on a day-to-day basis? How many nodes are being formed? when is the actual harvest happening? How long is it taking to ripen the cherries? And then, of course, flavor profile being the biggest one that they're really looking at or monitoring, but a lot of attributes regarding the plant and then the cup. Go ahead.
I got a question.
Yeah.
How are they growing coffee at sea level? But then they're saying one coffee is grown at 1,700 meters.
Right.
And one's grown at 21. Talk to me.
It's technology. It's like the fact that we're having this conversation in two different places through this camera, through technology. So they're using controlled greenhouses. They're using controlled greenhouses to mimic different factors in the environment. And what they're doing is controlling the temperature, of course. They're creating artificial sunlight. So how many hours of sun are you getting at 1700? What is the intensity of the UV rays of the sun at different altitudes? That will change. The diurnal range. Oxygen? The oxygen, yeah, all of this stuff, the pressure of the oxygen in the room. There's mimicking factors across the board. Wind, they're adding wind in, like they're doing all sorts of things. I don't know exactly where they've modeled after, though I do know the seeds and kind of the partner farm that there is a partner farm in active in real life is in Costa Rica. It's called Volcan Azul. I don't know if they've used farmland, coffee land that Alejo and the Castro family of Volcan Azul own to sort of capture data, but they're essentially emulating what they've researched is 2,100 meters above sea level and 1,700 meters above sea level. For further details, Dave, I am going to suggest that you go in.
I'm going to go read it, man.
And you read this dissertation.
Love it.
Should we slide on?
I'm ready.
All right. What are we watching this week? Dave, rewatched Baristas, a film by
here through technology.
Dave rewatched Baristas, a film by Rock Bejnauth, which offers an inside look at the intense preparation and skill required to compete in the World Barista Championship. After a fantastic conversation with Kyle Ramage for a recent By the Drip podcast, Dave felt like jumping back in and watching the documentary again. We believe we need more of these documentaries in our industry. It's written in text.
Big guy, have you seen this documentary?
I think it's a fantastic documentary. Yeah, it profiles great. 4 different baristas as they make their way through the championship circuit and does a great job, I think, capturing the work-life balance, let's say, of the grind. Yeah.
It was fun to watch, and then, I've watched it once before, chatting with Kyle and really getting to know him, and then through the competition circuit, we know Kyle, decently well now, and watching again after, it's funny to see, little tidbits of how he works and that coming through, through the film. We need more stuff like this in our industry. I think these really help bring people into the industry or give an idea of, especially around the competition. It
creates personality, it creates character, it creates fan base because people can identify with certain participants, competitors, and buy into what they're doing.
And you get storylines that are kind of overarching, and you got the big NBA trade that you were talking about earlier. And
yeah. Those are great.
Football.
I think this documentary would be an ideal candidate to expand out into a season,
a full season,
1 hour segments on a full season with different competitors, maybe from different national championships, and would be super fun to watch, similar to the F1 Drive to Survive, I think it's called, on Netflix, or the golf
Full swing, yeah.
Full Swing, thank you. Or there's a few others, and I think they've really captured an audience of people into those specific niche sports. So more of this. If you make film, you should jump into the world of coffee competitions. Listening, check out Slow Radio by BBC Radio 3. It's a meditative experience that captures the calming sounds of nature and everyday life. Perfect for winding down after a long day.
Put me right to sleep.
Slow Radio, man.
It's cool. This one, if you check it out, you can listen to, it's about 30 minutes per episode, and it's just sounds in the world. So one episode is someone taking a train from between two different cities, and it's just all the sounds that are on a train. Or someone's gone on a long hike, and they're kind of by a lake, and it's the sounds of them hiking up there.
Okay.
And then sitting beside the lake for 30 minutes. It's
Okay.
It's very different and unique, but something that would be great to, on a long flight, plug it in, fall asleep, or, you're studying, put this in and zone out.
Right. Would you recommend I listen to it maybe while I'm on a hike? I'm just kidding.
No, you should be paying attention to the hike, man.
Yeah, I agree. Brewing. What are we brewing this week? Look at that. We got a double feature here, Dave. We are brewing a side-by-side. Oh, I love Easter eggs. We are brewing a side-by-side comparison, tasting the latest Poma Coffee release. So the same one that made it into the reading section. The 2,100 meter above sea level geisha. Note that geisha is not spelt with an I. Is complex, nuanced, very floral, and has a higher quality of acidity, where the 1,700 meter above sea level geisha is much more rich with punchy fruit flavors, more viscosity, and less overall elegance. Both are outstanding expressions of geisha, and the price of this set for two 150-gram bags was $205. It also came with a package of minerals that was recommended to use for the recipe from Apex Lab. That breaks down to about $14 per cup using that 150 ml marker. These are very limited drop style releases that seem to sell out quickly. I believe they've only done 3 to date. All of them are side-by-side verticals, so you can taste the differentiation between, in this case, altitude modulations. In a different one, there is... it's removing a certain amount of cherries, so thinning is how they called it. So practice done in many different fruits or other styles of agriculture, or commonly done in viticulture and wine production. They remove a certain amount of fruit to try to concentrate more sugars into the remaining fruit, and I believe the result is often not 50. If you remove half the fruit, it is not 50% less volume. It is usually much more volume. You get more volume per fruit, like you get larger seeds in the context of coffee. You should read that dissertation too. But super cool coffee. I think Poma is doing some fascinating stuff in Denmark, of all places, and really beautiful coffee.
How much coffee are they producing? Do you know that?
I have no idea. No idea, but I know these are selling incredibly quickly, and I can't imagine there is much volume.
Yeah.
It's a very high price point for two 150-gram bags, and I mean, on a R&D, I don't know how big the grow rooms are. I didn't get to visit, sadly. Future state, I will. But really fascinating stuff. It's also the two people I know behind it are very high-level coffee professionals, Brewers Cup and Barista Champions in history past, and both of them are, pushing coffee forward. So try Poma Coffee. Keep your eyes peeled on what they're doing. Dave, it's my favorite segment. You ready?
The technology segment?
No, big brewing vibes. This isn't a tech newsletter, dude.
I thought this
This
was
is a
a
coffee
couple
newsletter.
of tech bros.
No, we're coffee bros. Weekly shout out of epic brew bars, be it real life, at your home or business, or wherever your imagination takes you. I had to create it again this week because nobody else sent me a photo to send in, but that's fine. I really liked this one. You like this one? I haven't made many, but this is my favorite. This week I used ChatGPT, which is still the same DALL-E they've integrated into ChatGPT, with a prompt. Create for me an image of a coffee bar that has the feel of an iconic Vincent van Gogh painting. I'm looking for a unique and captivating scenery which would stoke the imagination. Lots of warm red, orange, and yellow colors. Did they nail that on the head or what?
Yeah, other than there's like green apron in the back. That's...
Yeah, we wrote about Starbucks further up. All right, we got a couple of good one-liners here. So, would you load up the van and go for an artistic coffee at this cafe? You get it? It's Van Gogh. Vincent Van Gogh. Yeah. Would you?
Was that from... Did you prompt ChatGPT for that joke?
No, I made that joke.
No, you didn't.
Okay, the second one. The second one I think is pretty good too.
You can't lie now.
I'll do a starry night with a cup of Poma, 2100 meter above sea level geisha. Thanks, sport. I made that one up too. It's pretty good, right? If you could respond with a photo of your brew bar, we'd love to see what you're brewing on. Or get creative. Play with an AI generated scene. We'll feature it in an upcoming week. We'll shout you out. We'd love to know your prompt. Lots of fun with a big Brewing Vibes here, people. Grind Diaries. Dave, take us home. What's going on the Grind Diaries this week?
All right, big guy. We both got out and ran, and it looks like you beat me.
Did I win though? Like
No.
I beat you in distance. I did more distance. But hey, there's a line here, Dave. Because I wrote this segment and I didn't want you to feel bad about it. It's not about the distance. It's about the consistency.
We're either getting better or we're getting worse?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That one's a ChatGPT special too, eh?
No, man, that's Google.
Oh, that's straight from the heart.
That's just straight up Google.
Oh, it's Google. Okay, that's more
I
creative.
forget whose quote it was. It might be David Goggins. I think it might be David Goggins.
No, that's not a David Goggins.
All right, thanks for tuning into Headlines this week. If you haven't already, we would love it if you took a moment, slide down to the show notes, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Great content coming out on a weekly basis, couple of times a week. And then if you go a little bit further and just subscribe to the Buy the Drip newsletter, you're going to get to read this so you don't have to hear our commentary and our not so funny jokes. You can read this on your own. It's usually a 5 to 7 minute read. And you can click through if you want to listen to it on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, you name it. We got it. Love to see you next week. Thanks for tuning in.